How would we extrapolate ethics from those laws, considering that they were addressed to a specific culture in a specific place? For example, people were supposed to bring their sacrifices and their tithes and so on to the place that the Lord your God will choose, which turned out to be Jerusalem. Well, what do you do if you don't live in Israel? What do you do if you don't live in an agrarian culture where capital is defined differently in our culture, often in terms of education? How do we understand and apply God's law today, especially keeping in mind that God originally gave these laws to an ancient Near Eastern people addressing a very different legal milieu than ours? Civil laws in any society are concessions to human sinfulness. In no society do civil laws represent the ideal of virtue. It might be great if everybody wanted to stop at the stop sign, but the only thing that the law is going to actually punish you for is if you don't stop at the stop sign. There's simply a minimum standard to enable society to function, to work together. God's standard is actually higher than what civil law can address. So we have to be careful trying to extrapolate ethics from law. God's morality is higher than the law. That's why Israel's civil law said, "You shall not kill." But Jesus in the Sermon on the Mount, Matthew 5:21 says, "You've heard it said, you shall not kill. I say to you, you shall not want to kill." Israel's law said, "You shall not commit adultery." Yeah, the law says you shall not commit adultery. I say to you, you shall not want to commit adultery. And Jesus, I think, uses that as a way of getting a hold of what the law is really inviting from us. Pharisees also talked about building a fence around the law to make sure you don't accidentally violate the purpose of the law's intention. And Jesus really takes that home to the heart even further. Although the Pharisees also, they talked about kavanah, the intention of the heart. Jesus really drives that home. If we ignore the genre, the literary type, we're going to misunderstand God's character, and we're going to misunderstand the proper function, the intention behind these laws.